Hey team, welcome to your Barefoot Bootcamp Dumbbell Edition. So for this class, you're gonna want a pair of heavy dumbbells and a pair of light dumbbells. For myself, I'm going with the 220s, which I consider to be my medium to heavy, and 210s, which I consider to be my light. However, you can go also 210s and 2.5s, kind of whatever your range is. For this class, barefoot, obviously, we're gonna get started right away, and there's a lot of fun movements in this one, and I think you're gonna really enjoy a combination of yoga, Pilates, cardio, one experience. Let's drop down and get started. Your warm-up drill is going to consist of mobility. We're just going to drop our legs to the left and then back and forth. So if you're sitting down, I will mirror you. Make sure your feet are really wide. We're going to go for about 45 seconds, going back and forth. Feet wide, drop your knees over to the right. Make sure that the knee can go inside the sole of the foot. Swinging it back and forth, and you're going to get a little internal and external hip rotation, which you're going to need because we got squats in this, we got a lot of swinging dumbbell action, we have presses and push-ups. We got about 5 seconds to go, and we're going to transition right onto our backs to go into our bridge and bind in 3, 2, 1. Laying flat on the back, hug the knees towards the chest, and then plant the heels flat. Press straight up. So drop hips, squeeze, plant, and then press. Hands, 45 degrees. Make sure your fingers are really wide so you can use that as leverage to press the hips up. We got about 15 seconds to go. You can make it a little spicier by moving a little bit quicker, but do not lose the form, the technique, or the alignment. Thrusting the hips up, so squeeze, plant, press, hug, plant, hip extension. So that hip extension is going to be important as well when you're doing your hinges and standing up quickly for 3, 2, last 1. Feet flat, hands on tops of the thighs, Pilates stance. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, peel head and shoulders off the mat, and then pulse. 30 seconds right here. If you're brand new to Pilates and this is foreign to you, just make sure that your contraction is driving the movement. That will be enhanced by making sure that you exhale, matching breath to movement. Last 10 seconds, make sure you pull with your feet so you activate the hamstrings as well. Keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, up and hold and squeeze, get the core tight, crisscross the ankles, roll it up. Going right into our Firebird, alternating kneeling dragon. Tabletop position, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Your Firebird's gonna be left arm forward, right leg is straight back, holding one straight line, lengthening the body, and then plant. Step right foot outside right hand and lean into the hip, and then repeat. Reach back, only 30 seconds on this one. So balance, engage the core. Take a big, fat, giant step, and then you can open up the hip by leaning the knee out slightly, reaching back. About 10 seconds. On the Firebird, your key points, make one straight line. Make sure your hips don't tilt one way or the other. For 3, 2, last one. Right foot can go outside right hand. You can kind of lean into the hip. Feels nice, and like open up that left hip by pressing into it. Right foot's gonna step straight back, coming into an active child's pose. So instead of being on the tops of the feet, you're gonna be on the balls of the feet. Let your shoulders slide forward, and then I want you to articulate into a cat and cow variation. But the only difference is your arms are gonna be a little bit further out than a traditional cat and cow. We got about 20 seconds right here, just moving back and forth. Waving the spine, so you can even push off the balls of the feet, wave through into your neutral spine, and then articulate back. So you're looking for flexion into a little bit of extension for 3, 2, this one feels awesome. And on the last one, all the way through, we're going right to the other side on the Firebird, 30 seconds only. Straight line. Left leg is going to go straight back. Right arm is going to go forward. Reach. plant and step. Notice when I plant, I'm gonna kind of lean into the hip, reaching back, one straight line. The core is trying to balance this asymmetrical load of your left arm and your right leg reaching forward, and then plant, step, so you can open up the hip. Last 15 seconds. As you plant, I want you to grab your left big toe into the mat and squeeze it. Then, as a bonus for the last 10 seconds, also grip the mat with your fingers so you get used to lighting that up, because you're going to need some grip strength for your dumbbell exercises. For 3, 2, last 1. Tuck the hips underneath you, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Right foot's going to step between the hands and then just stand on up. I'm going to mirror you on this one. Feet really wide, hands go behind the head. Look to your right, take a big inhale. As you exhale, ball up, swing over to your left, opening up, back and forth 30 seconds. Key points on this one, I'm not really yanking on the neck. I'm doing a little mini back bend, opening up, leaning into the opposite leg. So I'm rolling, shifting, bend your right knee, sit, and then repeat. So really transfer the weight so you can kind of feel, and you're kind of flexing on them. We call this the leaning sun gaze because it looks like you're leaning back, gazing at the sun. Roll through all the way. Elbows in for 3, 2, and final 1. Come to the top of the mat. Take a big inhale, arms reach overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into your plank position. We're gonna go into a down dog wave. So from your feet being hip width, hand shoulder width, upside down letter V. Roll through, find as much flexion as you can into an upward facing dog variation or a sprawl. Push the hips straight back and roll through. We'll do 2 more. Articulate through all the way. At the bottom, you can rotate biceps outward. Imagine you're splitting the mat apart with your toes. So there should be like a lateral line of tension with your toes and your hands. We'll hold the last one. Don't worry if your hips don't go too low, just go to your level. So pull the mat apart with your hands, rotate the biceps out, and split the mat apart with your feet. It can be done for 3, 2, and walk it back. Hands go towards the legs. You can do easy ragdoll, wave from side to side. Remember, in Barefoot Bootcamp, we mash up every modality that has been tried and tested. So there's Pilates, there's yoga, there's this, there's that. We are going right into a little bit of cardio, nice and light, 20 seconds each, very simple. So start with jumping jacks, light on the feet. I'll give you some technique for the jumping jack though. Before we move on, we're gonna go for about 1 minute. Every 20 seconds, I'll add something new to the mix. So light on the feet. So this would be considered your light plyo. Get about 10 seconds. Soft bend in the knee. You can go a little bit quicker. We're gonna add a variation. Now crisscross, 20 seconds. Toes face forward. So make sure your knees track your toes. Arms still stay overhead. Pumping up and down. 10 seconds, we'll do one final variation. Light on the feet. Keep going. Keep stepping. 3, 2, last switch. Tricep jumping jack. So this is like plyo because you're barely leaving the floor. But if you move a little bit quicker, you can get the heart rate up. Keep your core tight. 15 seconds. Even light plyo can get you going. Squeezing the triceps at the end of the movement. We got about 5, 4, 3, 2, and shake it on out. Come to the top of the mat. Let's set you up for some of the blueprints that we're going to be using throughout the entire class. Toes together, heels slightly apart. Easy vinyasa. Inhale, reach arms overhead. Even if you don't know yoga, imagine you're diving into a pool of kombucha. Forward fold, head is heavy. Inhale, halfway lift. Body like a surfboard. Exhale, stepping back, plank position. Drop the knees, stay on the balls of the feet, setting you up for a loaded beast. So let your arms slide forward. Knees can be parallel, lift up the heels, and then push into plank position. and then sit it back. Option to drop the knees, pull, set it back. About 20 seconds to go. So as you pull, you can hover and press. The knees underneath the hips. 2 actions going on here. So you're gonna push with the legs, pull with the hands, rotate the biceps out. Now see if you can do that in 1 action. Push, pull, rotate biceps out, and then push it back. The shoulders are sliding towards the top of the head. 10 seconds to go. We are gonna set our intention in this little section. Core is tight. So remember this pattern that you're pushing off nice and springy from the balls of the feet all the way in the plank. Hold plank for 3, 2, 1. Hop the feet outside the hands. Feet wide, roll it out. 3 big rolls to the right, like a cinnamon roll, and 3 big rolls to the left. We're gonna set up your posture, your active posture for your deadlifts. Press the hips forward, press the hips back. Your lunges, your plyo, or anytime you want to activate and learn how to contract. So stand straight up. Feet are going to be really wide. I'll turn to face the camera. Feet can be parallel or slightly turned out, slightly wider than shoulder width. Split the mat apart. So actively activate your lateral line. So you should feel the sides of your butt cheeks light up because you're pressing the mat apart. Take your hands, bring your knuckles together, and now imagine you're ripping your shirt open to reveal the S on the chest for Superman, Superwoman, puffing the chest out, squeeze everything, bring the hands by the sides, get tight for 3, 2, 1. Top of the mat, you're gonna set your intention so that can be power, speed, power of mind, power of body, speed of mind, speed of body. You do, you pick something though that you can kind of highlight and bring into the body, and remember that when things get deep into the pain cave, if we start sweating and moving a bit much, heart gets going, it's good to have an anchor. Inhale, reach up. As you inhale, visualize your intention. As you exhale, forward fold, and just kind of start to imagine what that's gonna feel to embody whatever your intention is. For today, mine is gonna be power, roll through, lower down halfway, basic vinyasa, power of mind, power of spirit, power of the body, power of technique. So many ways you can go with it. Push it straight back, hop the feet outside the hands or inside the hands. Grab your little dumbbell, stand on up. I'll mirror you on this one, 45 seconds only. Bring the dumbbells into the rack position.